Hi all, Henry Loves Transport here, and today I'm going to give you an overview and depth into one of my favourite disused and historical airport terminals, which you can see in the background here, which is the Pan American Worldport. This is quite a jet age terminal back in the day. It was one of the most well-known airport terminals to fly out of. This terminal was actually opened in 1960 and it closed in 2013, as you'll see. There were two main tenants of this terminal at the time. So Pan American World Airways, or Pan Am as it was commonly known, were in operation at this terminal from 1960 till 1991, and then Delta Airlines took it over in 1991 till the end of the era in 2013, which I'll get more into in depth, and also in the description below I'll give the full history of this iconic terminal. So here we go. Now this was taken before the Pan American Worldport was actually open. This was actually the time that it was constructed, which, as you can see, it has a famous kind of flying saucer roof, which I'll talk into in more depth in a little bit later in this video, which has the iconic roof that it was used to designate, because back in the day the way it was structured for passengers to board was a little bit different in the day, which I'll get into in a minute. And then this is an actual overview of the terminal. So you've got the main bit here, which is the circular, but around the 1970s it was extended with this bit for about 13 gates, which added in the new iconic 747, which was one of the big aircrafts Pan Am had at the time, and they opened it up, as well as eliminating one of the original gates at the circular building to accommodate the 747, and it added a new edition of the US border and US Customs and Border Protection Facility to lose down the less stress of the international arrivals boarding that was located at JFK Airport. And then this is the photo we have here of the entrance that was used iconically for, as Pan Am called it, their Clipper class and first class, which is one of the most iconic and top class cabins they had at the time. And then this is a photo of inside the Worldport, which had the check-in formalities that passengers would have taken. As you can see in the video, in a picture, it is much more outdated as to what it looks like then compared to what it looks like now. And then this is actually a Boeing 707. This was actually taken in about 1961, so just a little bit after the Worldport opened, of Pan American Airways 707. This was before the 747 was introduced at this time and age. And then this is actually a video, as I said and I mentioned earlier, back in the day there were no actual fully closed air bridges, so the jet bridges we have nowadays to board and disembark between planes and airport terminals. Back in the day they had bridges, but they had, as you can see, that they weren't fully enclosed, so people would either board via these bridges that weren't fully enclosed, or they would board via stays, which is why it was critical for them to have like what they called the flying saucer roof, so it would still make it a little bit convenient for passengers not getting too wet. And then this one, how we have here of the classic Boeing 747 at the Pan American Airport. This was taken pretty much before it all ended. And then this one here, that was taken in about 2014. So at this time, as I said, the main big event happened in 1991, specifically the 4th of December 1991, when Delta took over the terminal as Pan American Airways officially went bankrupt and ceased operations. It did so on the 4th of December 1991, so that's when Delta took it over. Pan Am had a massive financial crisis over the last couple of years, but it was key in the airlines like Delta, United, American. They were that big in a day, but obviously after a lot of just final constraints and even the 103 bombing, which happened in 1988, that significantly took it down in terms of profits, and its reputation that happened just under 3 years later did they eventually run out of money and went out of business. And then this one would have been of Delta's checking back when it was nicknamed Terminal 3 when they took it over. They pretty much left off, they pretty much kept the interior the same way Pan Am left off, but Delta was the main tenant from 1991 till 2013. And then here we have the modern interior of Terminal 3, as Delta have relabeled it at the time, and it just, as you can see, it was quite outdated, and it needed that was back in the day, so it needed a bit of renovation, because obviously the aviation over time that's expanded, and it was more accommodated for life back in the day. So this is still historical to me as a person, but it's not really effective for our time nowadays compared to the operations that was back like 50 years ago. But honestly, I've been to JFK Airport before, mainly flying Delta, but that was a couple of years ago, and this would have been already demolished. I've flown only out of Terminal 4 at JFK, which is what Delta now uses to get between Heathrow and Minnesota. And then this is now a video of mid-construction, basically on the 24th of May 2013, which is exactly 53 years after the Worldport had opened on the 24th of May 1960. This is the molestation. This is now completely gone, but if you see in Terminal 4 at JFK, if you look over, I think it will be the start of the B gates, you'll be able to, if you are looking over to Terminal 1, you'll still be able to kind of see in background where it was, which is now used by additional parking for Delta Airlines flights. And also, when it comes into concept, Terminal 1 will eventually be extended, and that will be used for when it comes in the future. So that's pretty much in the end of it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, I try to make videos that I'm passionate about, but Yeah, aviation's been my passion for such a long time. Like, I've been passionate for planes for as long as I can remember, from the age of about 11. So just want to give you up to this quick video, and I'll see you all in the next one when I have more content available. See you in the next one. Bye for now.